With just a few minutes left, Jodie, you wrote an interesting book called How to Raise Entrepreneurial Kids. Okay. So a lot of listeners have kids, or some of the listeners will eventually have kids. I have kids that are starting to understand money and things cost money and all those things. And so my son has his little chicken business where he sells eggs to our neighbors and things like that. Give us the top couple tips of how to raise entrepreneurial kids before we wrap up.
Yeah, sure. So the book came about as a HARO request. So it stands for Help a Reporter Out. I put it out there. I asked the internet, how are you raising entrepreneurial kids and how were you raised to be entrepreneurial? Thought I might get a few responses and I got 500. And so put
Wow.
them all together into a book, wrapped a load of my experience because I had my mom was self-employed since I was about 14 or 15, joined up with a co-author who's got 3 kids under the age of 7 and is raising them to be entrepreneurial. And we put it all in there with heaps of tips, actionables, guidance, stories. But one of the biggest things is throwing people in the deep end, throwing kids in at the deep end and letting them be independent and learn independence and learn resourcefulness. So there's plenty of examples of this in the book, but one from my experience was that from when I was about 6, if we ever went away on holiday or away for a night or anything like that, it was up to me to pack my own suitcase. And it was also up to me to book my own doctor's or dentist appointments when I was 5 or 6. So my mom would be like, it's you know what's going on, it's time for the dentist, where the phone book is, where the phone is, you need to book it. And so it would just be up to me. And I didn't realize until I was probably like 20 that other kids didn't do that. I just thought it was totally normal. But it does just teach resourcefulness. It teaches you to not be afraid of the phone. It teaches you to just get stuff on, get it booked and get it sorted. And I feel like that's a big part of my entrepreneurial journey. And lots of the entrepreneurs I've spoken to, they had something in their childhood that they were just trusted with, that they owned, that was up to them, and they just got on with and they didn't question it. So if there are opportunities for moments like that, I think it can only serve someone well for their future.
I love that. When you were saying that, I thought to myself, there was a tweet that went viral a few years ago. It talked about, being an adult and adulting. And it was when they hit 18 that they realized they had to, book the dentist themselves. And I was like, really? That's like an adulting thing? Like, that just seems like you just call the dentist or send them a text and, they book it for you. I have a friend who, when I think it's when their kids turn 12, they have them book like a 3-day weekend getaway. And they get a certain amount of like a budget for it. And it's like a trip. And it could just be somewhere they drive to. It doesn't need to be like you fly across the world or anything. But the 12-year-old is in charge of planning everything. And they have a budget they have to fall within. They plan the hotel, they plan the activities, they plan how they're going to get there. And the only thing my friend will step in and do is save the day if they run out of money in their budget to bring everybody home. That's it. That's all there is to save. Because if you run out of money on day 2 and you're supposed to be there for day 3, well, he saves the day and packs everybody up and you go home. So, and he said that's it's been an interesting experience because you kind of get all these different things from project managing and having to like book things online or call a hotel or like think about, oh, well, we can't go to do this, crazy fun activity because we have this budget that we need to go within. So I thought that was very applicable there. Jodie, you're all over the internet. You're putting out a lot of content books. Where can people find you and follow you and learn more about what you're doing?
So the best place to find me is jodiecook.com, JODIECOOK.com. Feel free to send me a message. There's a contact form there, or you can find me on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, anywhere you want with all the links on that site.
Awesome. We'll link that in the show notes. Thanks so much, Jodie. And oh, by the way, your book comes out November 15th in the US, but it is out internationally. I don't know why here in America it's coming out longer than everybody else, but I'm excited to read it. I've already bought it and it's getting shipped to my Kindle.
Amazing. Thank you. Yeah, 10yearcareer.com is that as well.
Thanks.